Hi, everybody. It's January 23rd, 2026. Um, the analogy of looking at your life as your personal garden may be telling because many things that we try to grow in our lives, that we try to tend to in our lives, they die off or they thrive or they multiply or they provide fruit or they rot and make eyesores. So if you want to tend your life like a garden, um, sometimes the strategy is more important than the actual tilling. And by that I mean, if you want more, if you want more in quantity, you have to expend more energy terms of um, in terms of creation, and creation means um, like creating opportunities for yourself, opening up avenues for yourself, uh, making more relationships come into fruition. Just like if you want abundance, you just want to expend more energy and create um, create more. But if you want finer things, if you want more spiritually exquisite things, then you have to narrow your focus. You have to be very careful and be very mindful and be full of goodwill towards the people in your life and towards the possessions, spiritual and physical, that you have, if you want the finer things. Now, if you just want to experience life and go with the wind, uh, that is more of a harder path in some regards and more of an easier path. If you want to just flow with the wind of life, then you have to be willing to let go of things that you have become comfortable with, or you have to follow on trailblazed paths and create your own path. And then you may find that you want to exit that life and create something more concrete. So in terms of tending your life as a garden, there are many different strategies that you must um, broach, that you must enact. But if you look at life as a garden, that is a beautiful analogy, and that can take some of the stress away from maybe looking at your life like a jumbled mess, or looking at your life as an empty room. As a garden, it's a beautiful analogy. And so that gets me to thinking about wanting. As we go through life, even as children, we want many things. We want a special toy. We want clothes and special shoes that we want. And we get into this mode of wanting. And as you get older, the things that you want usually don't come with a monetary price. They come with a social price. They come with a psychological toll. And so one of the best ways to deal with wanting is to pin that to a board, and then it's all like, I think you've heard of the term of treasure mapping. If you want something, you pin it to the board, and you create lines of causation to it, to that end. And then many times you will see that what you thought you wanted initially is not actually what you wanted, but you might want something greater. You might want something different, or in terms of substance, in terms of the makeup of it. So treasure mapping, you don't have to do it physically, but in your head, you start to see what you really want at that point. And the beautiful thing about life is that we evolve, and our wants evolve, and we get what we want sometimes, and sometimes that's not enough, and sometimes it is enough. Sometimes we go through deserts of wanting and nothing is satiated. So the first step I would say is just to go treasure mapping. The second aspect of wanting, you just want to just be mindful of how it affects your internal conditioning. And by that I mean, as you get older, the things that you want become grander, on a grander scale, and it takes years to accomplish. And many of us don't have the patience to sustain that activity to get what we want for years, so we give up. And so we get in the habit of giving up on things. And when you give up enough times, you start to feel incapable. You start to feel stunted. And dealing with the feeling of stuntedness or being stunted, you just have to start to achieve things that are within your grasp. And then you start to get the psychology of achievement ingrained in you. You start achieving bigger and bigger things, and your energy is more efficient. You're more pointed in your actions, and you start to actually bring things to fruition. So in that regard, I would say, like, getting in the mode of being able to purposely and efficiently and confidently achieve things, you start to become an achiever. And it doesn't matter how grand or small it is. If you get in the habit of being an achiever, then you have a sort of mastery on that part of your life, and it deepens you in other aspects. And the last thing I could say about wanting is you learn from wanting. You learn that you have been a soul that has needed things, and they were taken away from you. You lost them. You spoiled them. You threw them away. You failed. And so when you look at yourself as a wanter, you start to understand if you can be that giver to somebody else or to many other people, you start to fulfill your dreams by giving other people a chance to get their dreams, or even giving them things that fulfill their dreams. So when you become a giver and you have been a wanter for so long, you start to want less. You start to want things that are free. You start to want things that are within your reach, and you start to appreciate them. And then life becomes richer, and you find that you have more time on your hands to do the things that you want. You find that you have people that you can rely on in certain regards. You start to realize that by becoming a giver after being a wanter for so long, things fall into place for you at the exact right time. You may have to wait for a while, or you may have to take different avenues that you wouldn't have taken before. But once you become a giver after becoming a wanter, things work out for your good, and that's just the nature of following God. So I hope this helps. Thanks.